Hello, everyone. This is Andrew, and I thought I'd just take a minute to walk through some of the settings on the SBR indicator, especially around the time that the indicator will fire off its signals. And so it's kind of a question. Sometimes you got this long periods here where you see our thresholds that are being painted, the channel is being there, but you're not getting any trades. And so there's a couple reasons that could be, and we're going to talk about how that's set up. So the first thing to realize is if you right click and you go to studies, edit studies, here I have the statistical break and run indicator on there. And if you click customize and inputs here, you'll see that there's a time range in which it by default is set to 9:30 a.m. to 1600. That would be New York time, or any the time frame of your chart, whatever it is. Okay, so ideally that's Eastern Standard Time. So with this set this way, the indicator will only signal trades during those time windows. And we do this so that people, maybe they want to only trade the morning session, or they want to trade only the day session. They can set these up, and they're in good shape. With this configuration, we're going to have basically the full day session. Okay, and you can see that if we look at our chart over here. Here we are on August 11th, and there's no trades going, but here we are. Here's one that fired here at 9:48. And then there's some short trades that got fired there. But this is all morning session stuff, right? Now you can change that range to be something else if you want. Let's say I only want to trade between 9:30 and 12. That would cause me to only trade in those hours, and the indicator will only show you alerts and signaling in those hours. If you want to do this 24 hours a day, you want the indicator to paint everything across the whole 24 hours, you can set these fields to -1. And what that does, then it now becomes a 24-hour indicator. So here you see now, because I've done that, I'm now getting a trade here at 8:30 in the morning in the early market. And as I go further back throughout the early morning hours, New York time, I'm getting my trades. Okay. A thing I didn't really cover here yet, but I thought I would just call this out. By default, the indicator has these profit target multipliers set to multiplier 1 is set to 1, and profit target multiplier is set to 2, and that gives us the 100 and 200% settings. So for profit targets, okay, that's the default. And that's great for the day session. Actually, there's enough volatility there that you actually probably want these set to that, and that we've back tested that extensively. But if you are trading in the early morning hours, there's just not as much volatility. There's not as much volume. I mean, you get a little bit of move like this trade here, but a lot of these, you see, they're not really moving all the way through your profit target. So that's why we allow you to change these. And so for overnight, we recommend that you put at 0.5 and 1, which means you're going to be at a 50% and 100% instead of 100 and 200. And then those after hour paints here, now you'll see they adjust to 50 and 100. So anyway, that's just a way. If you're going to be doing after hours, highly recommend it, because you're going to be able to hit your profit targets easier, just because of the lower volatility. Okay. All right. So that's a couple of reasons why maybe you might or might not be seeing trades. Mainly, it's around these hours of the day here. Like I say, I think a lot of folks are trading the morning session, or even just they're going for the whole day session. So that's why we default these to their current values. If after all that you're still not seeing trades for whatever reason, another thing you can do is look at the amount of history of the chart, and also the time zone that your PC is on. So how do we do that? Well, I'm going to right click, I'm going to go to data, edit symbol, and in here you can specify how many days back this chart will paint for. So TradeStation, when you just make a new chart, will, especially like 2-minute or 5-minute, it'll put it at like 2 days, and that's not enough. The indicator needs enough history to to know what has come before it at any moment in time, so as to be able to make a signal. And so if this is set too low, we've seen cases where you basically get these lines, but it never fires because it doesn't have enough data on the chart to actually make a determination. So I highly recommend this be about 15. I've seen people use 10, that's sufficient, depending on the amount of memory and processing capabilities of your PC. But I set this to 15 just to make sure I've got enough data on there so that everything will paint across the time window, and I know I'm gonna get good signals if that happens. Okay. Again, I'm not displaying here because I have my overnights, but commented out. But I'll just go enable these real quick, just so that we can see all the trades that would be signaled here. There we go. The other thing I pay attention to as well is I find it helpful to set the time zone of my PC to match New York time. I set it actually to Eastern Standard Time. That way there's no question when the chart's showing me here this trade, at 9:48 a.m. I know that is New York time, and that is going to be accurate. And there's settings for this in here in TradeStation. If you go right click and go to that data screen again, you can go to properties and you can actually see, like right now my time zone is local. So this chart's displaying on the local time, right? So if I don't have my PC set to Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time, these timestamps here are going to be local to me, not to New York time. So it doesn't affect the indicator, as far as, like, the indicator is going to fire when there's a signal and it'll be wherever it is on the chart. But the thing is, if you're wondering, well, why did I not get any trades during a certain window? Well, maybe the time zone and the way your chart's painting isn't quite lined up to New York time. So anyway, I found those to be helpful starting points, and hopefully this is useful, to be able to make sure you're getting the maximum value out of the indicator. All right, so any questions, you can certainly email me, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.